Big Boy's
Big
neighborhood.
boy.
Pleasure to have this man back in the neighborhood. Russ,
What up,
welcome back to the
Russ?
neighborhood, brother. How you doing?
Can't complain. How you doing?
Doing well, man. I'm doing well. It appears, Russ, that we're making some kind of movement on getting back into the same room and getting back in
Yeah.
shows and everything. Do you feel like that's coming about right now as well?
Yeah, I feel like you can kind of feel the energy. You can feel it in the air. It's kind of getting back
Yeah.
to normal. I think 2020 was a really crazy kind of like up in the air year, and I feel optimistic about the future. And like I said, I think you can just feel it in the air. It's starting to come back.
What does that do for you,
Excited.
Russ, as a performer as well, man? When we were waiting for you to take over Hollywood Bowl, and you know what I'm saying,
Oh,
enthusiasm and the excitement, and then the pandemic hit, and everything under the sun gets postponed or canceled. What's going on with you now, as even announcing or thinking about a tour?
Um, it's exciting and also a little scary because I'm like, man, I hope I don't have to cancel this again. But I don't know. To be honest, I feel really confident about it. Seeing artists like The Weeknd post their tour, seeing some of these festivals announced, that's when I was like, oh, I think because if the Weeknd's tour is a go, then then everyone else is good. You know what I mean?
Kickoff?
What you say?
Do you have that kickoff, like that kickoff date?
Oh yeah. I think I'm starting in like Australia in March of next year.
Oh
So
yeah. Hey, bro, if you can't be in Australia March of next year, then
yeah.
yeah, it's go. You know what I'm saying? Then
Nah, for real. For real. So
you.
yeah. I'm excited though, man. Like I just think it's funny because when I had to reschedule for 2021, because the tour was originally supposed to be 2020. When I had to reschedule for 2021 and I announced those 2021 dates compared to announcing these 2022 dates, it's like a night and day difference of response and demand and excitement and optimism. Like it feels like it's happening. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited.
And I think now it looks a lot more closer because we didn't know what we were getting into. You know what I'm saying? We thought that, oh, this would be gone, or it'd be manageable, or we can. So we didn't know what we were going into. But now that we have
Right.
knowledge of, you can start to see, like, okay, things are coming back. But you stayed, as busy and extremely busy as you can under the so-called circumstances, because you still made sure that you put out a lot of music. You
Mhm.
closed up a lot of deals, stayed with your branding, bro. Was that important for you to make sure that you did kind of stay extremely in our faces and in our ears and on our pages?
Yeah, I didn't, the pandemic shut everything down, but I wasn't trying to be one of them. You know what I mean? So, and I was, I left the label. And so a lot of things were changing on my end in my career. And I just wanted to make sure that, I was doing what I needed to do to share with my fans and give them, material while everything is kind of screwed up. So, it's been a time to reflect and a time to practice gratitude and a time to practice being in the present moment. And
Mhm.
I tried to, kind of do all those things. But yeah, man, I'm always gonna put out stuff and try to expand my horizon and, elevate the brand, et cetera, for real. So
Hey man, when we look at what's going on now, and it seems like there's going to be a fast forward, you also keep yourself, outside of music. You make sure that you make great business deals as well, man. And I see not just the EP, but I see you rocking the Chomp hat. What's behind that? Because they hit me up, man, and it was like, yeah, he got a cannabis strain. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, not that I'm salty or jealous, but sometimes you get tired of winners winning. You know what I'm saying? But
I
but
know it's like Tom Brady.
yeah, you know, and you are the Tom Brady, not just of hip hop, but you the Tom Brady of life. You know what I'm saying? And you control destiny too, Russ. That's what I love about you. But what made you kind of swing in that direction with Wonder Bread and creating your own strain?
Um, so the cannabis industry has just been something I've really been interested in from a business opportunity standpoint for a while. And, you know, I just wanted to figure out how to authentically enter that space, because I'm not a heavy smoker. I'm not a sit around all day and smoke. But I was like, you know what though? I can't lie. Like, I do like to smoke in the studio. Like, I like to maybe have a glass of wine and take a couple puffs on something in the studio. But I'm very, very sensitive to whatever I'm smoking. So there's been times where I'll smoke something and it makes me start thinking way too much, and then it ruins the session, or it makes me too tired and then that ruins the session. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be smoking in the studio, I might as well be smoking my own stuff that I know what it's going to do for me. So I was like, you know what? I think it's time to enter into that space. And the Wonder Bread thing kind of just came together really organically. And we created really what I call a studio weed, you know? So I can't vouch for it. Like, don't, you know, if you want to smoke it and go into a business meeting, rock out, but I can't vouch for that. But I can vouch for the studio.
How do you go through the process of finding out what the effects are? You know what I'm saying? Do you have somebody that's on the same vibe as you that tested, or did you have to smoke a lot to create Chomp?
Yeah. So I told Wonder Bread you know, what I was looking for. You know, I didn't want something that was gonna make me fall asleep. I didn't want something that was gonna make me paranoid and think too much. And they've obviously been doing this for so long that they had the right idea of like, okay, well, you should try these strains, you should try this. So they would, you know, they would give me like two strains, you know, separate, and tell me, you know, I was going to the studio. So I was like, all right, let me take these two strains, go to the studio, mix them up myself and see what happens. So I was doing that for a minute, and we stumbled on the right one, and just locked in. So, you know, I really enjoy it. My mom loves it. My
Oh,
sister loves it. So
Russ, this is like, this is you. This isn't just, you know, somebody just saying, "Oh, we'll slap your name on some packaging," and
yeah,
oh,
yeah, that was what was really important for me. I didn't want to just like, I don't care what it is, any product or brand or anything you see my name on, it's something that I actually use and co-sign. I didn't want it to just be some, uh, you know, just product that just a cash grab. You know, I was like, nah, if I'm gonna do this, it needs to be authentic. There needs to be a real story behind it. It can't just be like, oh, I'm coming out with this cannabis line, and it's like, nah, I really was hands on with it. And I made sure that I was making it for the reason I was making it for, which was the studio, and that it worked in the studio, you know? So like, you know, just as authentic as it can get. If you want to smoke what I smoke in the studio, this is that, you know?
but you know, we'll put it out there. It won't guarantee you like hit records. I don't want nobody thinking like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, right.
like,
Right.
gonna be a star, bro. And
You told me I would go platinum.
smoked thought it was good, but hey man, what about, how is it available, or when does it become available? How does one get Chomp?
So March 29th,
Okay.
it comes out. California select dispensaries, and we'll be expanding when we can. But obviously, you know, certain areas it's not legal, so use your discretion. I mean, you know, God bless.
How important is it for you to stay or feel or do your business as an independent artist?
I think it's everything, man, to be in control of my own shit, you know, and be steering it where I want it to go. Obviously, I'll take, you know, advice and counsel from just the people who know me best, and can kind of see things clearer than me sometimes, because they're not super on the inside. They're not the ones in it. But it's important because anything that has to do with me, my brand, my name, I need to make sure that I feel good about it. And I can't do something that somebody else wants me to do just because, oh, that's what they wanted and whatever. Like I like being in control, so that, you know what, even if it screws up, at least it's on me, and at least I felt good about the decision. You
Yeah.
know, like you know, I couldn't imagine something going left and something going askew and awry, and it was because it was someone else's decision and vision that was happening.
And
You
we
know, so
like with you know, pretty much 10 years, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like over 10 years, not including the outliers and everything, but product wise, how many years you think are we on a decade right now of releasing?
yeah, as far as releasing music, 2021 makes it a decade exactly, because I put out my first song
Right?
December 2011. So.
And you got to think, bro, like even December 2011, we were still looking for the majors. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got to get
Yeah.
Interscope. I got to get that. Whatever that major was. And independent sometimes, bro, it was looked at, oh, they can't get on the major. Oh, it's a graveyard. Oh, and, now that they, had a few, now they're going back to, selling their own stuff. Was it always your game to be an independent artist? And or did you figure that out as you started to notice you didn't have to beg somebody to put a record out? What's my release date? This is the single, this isn't the single. Did you notice that early on?
No, I think it's what you said. I think I figured it out as I went along. And I think, this is a testament to not fighting the process and not fighting your journey and kind of embracing that it happens when it's supposed to. Because in 2011, let's say, I thought that that first song and that first mixtape I dropped was going to blow up and it should have. And then, but it's like, okay, let's play that then. If that would have blown up in 2011, being an independent artist wasn't really as glamorous as it is now. And it wasn't as in the forefront. So I probably would have just instantly signed some terrible deal. I'm fortunate that by the time my stuff blew up, it was 2015, 2016, when um, being independent was starting to you know, build real estate in people's minds. And I still partnered, but I always knew what was going on and to keep the independent catalog on the side. And I always had a plan of going back independent. So, I can't say that I would have just had this independent mindset if I blew up in 2011 and just instantly got with a label and that was that. I think the sad thing with artists is it's a bit of Stockholm syndrome happening where if you're a nobody artist and you sign to a label and that's when you experience success, that's your first taste of getting a million streams or whatever it is. As much as you might hate them and get mad at them sometimes, you don't leave them because deep down you don't know if you can succeed without them because you've attributed all your success to them. So now you're in this, like I said, this Stockholm syndrome thing where you've fallen in love with your kidnapper. So
And
um
we
yeah, it's scary.
but you do hear people now, because your consumer as an artist or whatever you're doing, man, you can go straight to the person. That helps with streams, that helps with social media. What advice do you have for somebody that want to get in or someone that say, I want to be independent? What do you tell them from the giddy up that you paid tuition into the school of experience on?
I Most of the time people don't realize that there's still so much more left for them to do independently before they should even be talking to labels.
Right,
And
right.
so they start, they get like a little buzz and they're like, man, labels are coming at me. Like, what am I supposed to do? It's like, you're supposed to ignore them right now. Like, there's nothing to talk about because you need to create such a leverage and such a buzz. Number one, so that if you do want to talk to labels, you're getting a great deal. Number two, get so much leverage and so much buzz that maybe you wake up and you're like, what do I need a label for? So I think people they jump ship too early because it gets obviously very exciting and like, oh my God, labels. Like, I don't care who you are. If you're if you're an artist and you're trying to make it and you start getting a buzz and you get to that point where there are major labels calling you and offering you things, it's exciting. It feels good to be wanted
Mhm.
in general in life. So a lot of times it's hard to kind of resist the temptation, but I always just encourage independent artists to just stay independent and keep building the buzz because if the labels are there right now, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, they'll be there in a year from now, in 2 years from now, and the bag will have to be bigger and the deal will have to be better. So
Early on, was there ever a time where you almost got a little desperate? Where you say a year down the line, the bag will be bigger, but sometimes you're looking like, man, I could take this right now.
yeah, yeah, like 2014 is when um labels were first reaching out. In 2014, man, I had 1,000 followers. I was like nothing. So the deals that were getting offered were terrible deals. But like I was just mentioning, I was so excited to, at that point I was 11 mixtapes in, 10 mixtapes in. So I was like, man, about time. I told y'all to it. So I was like, this is it. This might be my moment. Like, oh man, like I should take this deal, whatever, whatever. But I'm glad that I held on to my vision, and I was like, this is just not how I saw this going. This isn't right for me. So I'm glad that I turned down, you know, certain offers back then that, man, looking back, it's like, of course I should have turned those down, you
Hey
know?
man, it's crazy because Russ, when they hit me up and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get down with Russ once again," I almost turned the interview down because
Good.
paid off. I love paid off, right? And then when you say how Kanye got on the phone with you and he said, "Congratulations on selling out the Staples Center," you wrote that song, right?
I did, yeah.
You didn't write like, "Hey, Big Boy, put me on the phone with Kanye," and then from Big Boy put me on the phone. This is what Kanye said, and then at the end, be like, "Thank you, Big Boy. I met my guy, Big Boy." You know what I'm saying?
I tried to fit it in, the syllables didn't fit. You know what's crazy though, too? In my caption when I first posted that picture, and I was like, shout out to Big Boy. People are like, why is he calling Kanye Big Boy? What type of relationship y'all got?
You didn't want to put me in the song because that shit is not even famous enough.
Nah, I got you.
You know, I took that picture and I did a screenshot of it. I was like, yes, because you was answering the questions. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, he put this on social media, but boy, he should have put this in the song. But you're in a position where you can go back and remaster and restrip it and redo it. So we should probably do that, man. Just on the,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I think you should probably just get a verse, to be honest.
I'll take that too. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that too. And just let me know. And then when it comes to music, also, man, Bankrupt. When you listen to Bankrupt, I'm like, man, okay, where did this come from? You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's more of the heart being bankrupt. You try love. You know what I'm saying? Is that a situation for you, Russ? Are you in a relationship, or do you think it's gonna be hard to find a relationship?
So Bankrupt was written about a close person in my life who experienced a relationship and a divorce situation where I asked them kind of what happened and what went wrong, and they were like, "It was over a long time ago." And I was just like, "Man, I've been there too. Obviously not on a divorce level, but I was like, it's a really interesting concept to me. Just like I left a long time ago. Your heart. That's why bankrupt. It's just about your heart. It has nothing left. There's you've tried to hang on. You stayed longer than you even wanted to, but at a certain point, it's time to go. So I just thought it was like I thought it was a relatable concept, and then just the instrumentation and
Where you put your voice at? You know,
yeah, man, it's just like that to me. Bankrupt is, I know I say it all the time, but it's really one of my favorite songs. And I know that because I made it over a year ago. And every song that I made after it, I was like, yeah, it's not as good as Bankrupt. So I'm gonna just sit on Bankrupt, which makes no sense. I should have just put out Bankrupt. But yeah, man, like it's just I haven't been able to make a song that I like more than that in like 9 months, 10 months.
you know what? It's perfect timing too because I think we're accepting a little bit more too. You know, music was there was video streams as far as Netflix, and we were watching stuff. But I think now we cleared out a little more of the clutter.
Yeah,
Are paying a little bit more attention to it. So I would think with like a bankrupt. And the one thing with that kind of thing, man, there's always relationship. There's always
yeah, yeah.
like I was saying, man, it's written very well, produced very well, and
Thank you.
I love what you put your voice in and how melodic that one sounds. You know what I'm saying? So,
Thank you, man.
and you already knew it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you held on to it.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like it's funny though because as artists we're always in our own way, and it's like I should have read my own book more, but it's like um because it's like why would like to me right now that like I have the cobwebs out of my head, it's like why would I not always put my best foot forward musically? It's like okay, if I think this is my best song, what am I doing sitting on it? But it's almost like I get in this place sometimes mentally where I'm like, well, it's too good to just like put out. I need some sort of, and it's like, no, you don't need anything. You just need to put it out and shut up, and get out of your way.
But
So
man, how do you get yourself in? You know, when we think about positions, like when you think about bankrupt, you say, man, you started comparing things to bankrupt, and especially like over the last 9 months, right?
yeah,
You do get a song like that. How do you release other music? You know what I'm saying? Because it feels like you're in competition or you're in a battle with Russ. You know what I'm saying? So how do you submit and just say, okay, just take it? Even with Bankrupt, like, all right, just put it out.
Yeah, you have to detach from results, bro. And it's so much easier said than done, but like that's the only solution is to detach from results and just be grateful for whatever happens. And for me with Bankrupt, it's like whatever it does is whatever it does. And it needed to come out and it needs to be out there so that, like I said, whatever it does, cool. Now I can actually like move on and get to other music and get to other songs because for the longest time, for like a year, it's just been this thing in the back of my head, like, uh, yeah, all right, y'all like this, but y'all don't even know what's sitting on my computer. It's like, yeah, they don't know. So what, like, how do you expect them to feel how you're feeling? Drop it. Like, what are you talking about? You know
Amen.
what I'm saying?
And also in the same retrospect, when you say, man, like, oh, y'all don't know what's in my computer, like your audience, Russ, continues to grow every day. Like if you can look at like stats, how you can look at followers, like, oh, such and such followed you 43 minutes ago, 43 seconds ago. If you can look at that and you release so much music, do you ever think about the music that we did miss that you did put out when like, man, if y'all like this, like Jesus Christ, in 2014, I had, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, but see, you know what though? I That's a dangerous game to play because you can end up thinking that it's the fans' problem and like y'all slept and whatever. But the reality is it's like no artist wants to admit this. But if I put out a song a week, right? And the fifth song blows up, but not the seventh one, it was the music then. Like the fifth one didn't have any better chance at blowing up than the seventh one. Like they came out the same way, they got released at the same time. Like there was no extra push. It's the music. People, artists don't want to admit it's the music. It's like you know when I was doing the song of weeks last year, it's like the ones that worked, quote unquote, and did well because people like them more.
Right, right.
It's like it's that simple. It's not like this.
Moon and
Oh, like it didn't get playlisted and like that. It's like nah, bro. Like you have mad fans. If they like this one and not that one, it's just the music. It's not that serious. You know what I mean?
when I think of Russ, you know, as a brand, as an artist, producer, slash. But there's no one that we really lump you into. There's no crew. There's no this. There, you know what I'm saying? Like, were you very conscious of not getting involved and being presented by and things of that nature?
Yeah, I kind of always have just prided myself on being an individual and not needing other people and and needing to be grouped into uh with anyone or to anyone. But as far as just coming up though, me and Bugus, my boy, since I was 12, we started Diamond. Diamond is our thing. We got our friends, we got our people, you know what I mean? Like it's like so as far as that goes, uh we've always been pretty solid with that. But then as far as any like
Authentic.
industry comparisons and stuff, I'm not I kind of like that you can't place me anywhere. And I think that's only gonna get more true uh the more I'm around and the more music I put out, the more deals I do, and the more I just diversify myself and show people that I'm me. I think if you go the other way, right? If the more you put yourself out there, the more we can tell you're like him and him and him. I feel like you haven't even tapped into you yet. That's going the wrong way. Like the more I give to the world, the easier it should be to realize like, oh, he's actually nothing like any of these people. Because really, you're a one of one. Everyone's a one of one. So my goal is to continue to do me to the point that you can't get this from anywhere else. And that's when you have these cult fan bases where it's like, man, I don't care who's dropping, who's posting their tour. I'm going to see him and I'm listening to his music and I'm buying his books and whatever because I just can't get it from anywhere else. There's a lot of artists out here where I'm like, yeah, I can go get this from someone else though.
Russ, you got a lot of music. You know what I'm saying? A lot of music, and you do have collabs as well. But with Russ, it's a lot of music. When you think about even with Bankrupt, it's not like Bankrupt featuring. You know what I'm saying? So have you ever thought like, man, like every song, if it's 3 verses, you got to do right and do all 3 verses, as opposed to a group where it's like, all right, you go in the booth, you do your verse, I go in the booth, do, but so and then I'll go do mine. You got a lot of music, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And really, it's all on you. Is that so called a pressure to you, or is that just what you enjoy and that's just the way it is?
It's what I enjoy for sure, because once I got on and got access to other people and collabs started happening, I got a little lazy. I would make songs and and do one verse and then just not finish it, because I would be like, it's all good. Like there's an open verse, I can send it to someone, but I would never end up sending it to anyone because I couldn't really hear anyone else on certain songs or whatever it was. So I have so many unfinished songs just out of laziness and comfortability of like, oh, but I can put somebody else on it. As opposed to the way I was working in 2015, where I was like, I don't know anyone, so I have to finish every song.
And
You
that's
know?
what made it though. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
exactly. So I can never get away from that. So that's why like I tap back into that on like Misunderstoods and Bankrupts. It's like, yeah, I could have just done one verse on Bankrupt and called some R&B artist that I know and been like, yo, but it's like, then that's not even really all the way you anymore. People, and what's crazy is that uh I've kind of trained my fans to only like me, which I didn't really super plan on, but it's crazy.
and that's beautiful, man, because have you ever went to a show and it's like the super collab record and you be like, oh my God, I wonder such and such coming out. And then they stop it because the person not,
Right, right,
you know,
right. Or when the big hit song is somebody else singing the hook.
yeah,
And it's like, then you got to watch the rapper on stage just ad lib the hook. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like,
Y'all know this one right here. Like super groups and super collaborations, man. If you were to say, you know what, I'll do one project, it's a super group. Who does Russ put in that group?
um, wow, I've never been asked that. What an incredible question. I would say, me, Drake, Kanye, and Cole.
Oh my God.
I think we would make the craziest album ever, to be honest.
Damn, man. And you know what? I'm not even in a position to put that one together. You
It's
know,
okay.
A&R.
Big, you got me right.
So it's Russ, Drake, Kanye, and Cole.
Yeah.
Good Lord have mercy, man. I'll think of a name and we'll definitely come back to it, man. Russ, there's so much, COVID-19 pandemic talk. I was speaking with Kevin Lyles from 300 Entertainment a couple days ago, and he got the vaccine, and he said he would encourage artists, the Thug and Megan Thee Stallion and everybody to get the vaccine. Where are you at when it comes to the vaccine?
Um, I want to see more research done on it. In my personal opinion, like I'm not first in line for the vaccine in by any means, just because I don't know enough about the long term effects, and I feel like no one does because it hasn't been out long enough to know the long term effects. So, um, if it ends up being like something really safe, then I'm in. But I'm kind of like, y'all got it. Y'all let me know how it goes.
And I know people around me that's getting it. My guys, a couple of my guys getting it today. As a matter of fact, I got, other, like my sister got it. And I just tell people I'm not opposed to it. It just at the moment, I'm like, when the iPhone first came, I didn't get the first iPhone. You know,
Right.
let them work out some of the kinks, some of the bugs, whatever it may be. And then you take another look at it. But what about if it came down to traveling and festivals and things of that nature? And it was like, well, to get on this show where it's a fully vaccinated artist roster.
Yeah, I mean, like me and my friends have talked about that. Like next year on tour, if overseas countries and places like that are like, yeah, we know you got a tour, but you can't even come over here unless you get a vaccine, then I'm gonna have to do it because I'm not ruining that moment for fans and etc. And then I'm not stopping my life for that. But just voluntarily, am I going to go get the vaccine right now? No, we don't even know the long term effects. So I'm a wait, like you said, till they work the bugs and kinks out. Y'all got it though. Let me know how it goes.
And are you an NFT or a crypto person? Are you in a cryptocurrency?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I'm working on some NFTs right now. I'm a big believer in cryptocurrencies. I'm heavily invested with a lot of different cryptos. I just bought. I don't know if you're familiar with CryptoPunks,
Nah,
but yeah, they're this NFT where it's like these 10,000 of them ever made. They're these digital like 8-bit uh, avatars. They're like online trading card basically type of thing, and they're like $20,000 each, some insane thing. But they're supposed to go up to like 100K by summertime. Shout out to Gary B for putting me on, so I copped 2 of those.
and
So we'll see.
I need to start paying attention to him instead of just hating from a distance. No,
For real.
he's right. But yeah, because I look at cryptocurrency and I have like a mining machine here, right? And it went offline and I haven't hooked it back up for like 3, 4, 5 months. No telling what kind of money I'm missing from.
Yeah, what are you doing, bro?
Now, now that I know that you're into cryptocurrency, you know what I'm saying? And the NFT, if you were to say, you know what, because I'll see things that sell for crazy NFT prices. Like, would you sell an NFT only album or an experience?
No, I don't think I would do an album or a song yet, just because I still want all my music to be everywhere. But I would, I've been thinking about some cool things, like maybe selling the footage of me making Losing Control
Mm.
as an NFT, or something like that, or the artworks, the original artwork for Losing Control, or what they want, or just stuff like that that make people still feel special. But I'm not kind of um, dismissing and neglecting the rest of my fans who maybe aren't on the NFT wave.
Hey, man, you know what's crazy? I hear some of the most creative and forward thinking people talk about crypto. You know what I'm saying? So I really like Ani that work with us, man. Ani is all over, crypto. She watches it, she knows about it, so on and so forth. And that's just gonna be one of them things where I'm gonna be a dinosaur. Cause early on I could have put into this thing called Amazon and do it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I would, man, it'd be a mess if I really got an opportunity to put in Amazon. I
Right.
wouldn't even be somewhere just probably smelling my feces, just crazy. You know what I'm saying? If I missed out on that opportunity.
Literally. Man, shout out to my manager Milan, who convinced me to invest in Bitcoin in 2017. So
Is
yeah, that
what you were doing then?
yeah, I mean, at that point, like Warren Buffett has some sort of quote where he's like, you should only invest money that you don't care about, that you forget about. So I remember I invested in it just because I was like, whatever, if I don't, I'll spend this money on something dumb. So put it in there and forgot about it. And then now it's obviously booming and going crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, and shout out to Milan. I'm telling you, man, when I get advice from somebody else, I don't thank them. I don't acknowledge them because I don't want them to think that they're a part of it or they.
Right.
So I love that you do that. I just don't do that myself. You know what I'm saying? It's just a self
Fair.
you don't have. But man,
Yeah.
Russ, always a pleasure to have you in the neighborhood, man. Once again, make sure y'all grab a bankrupt however you guys grab your music now. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait till we see the tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Chomp, that comes out on the 29th. So
Correct.
congratulations to you on your cannabis strain, man. That was put together by you, and you did a lot of your own research. You know what I'm saying? And you probably created some great music because you were creating a great product. You know what I'm saying?